Here's a video of a real mermaid that was caught on video by an underwater camera in Australia. You cannot tell me this is a human swimming underwater in a mermaid tail. This is real.
Slow it down and play it back for me.
That was caught on video by underwater camera in Australia. You cannot tell me this is a human swimming underwater in a mermaid tail. This is real.
And in the comments, somebody said, ain't no human swimming without moving their arms. This mermaid is gliding. Welcome forward to another video. It is currently 10 p.m. and I'm trying to fix my resting schedule, my sleep schedule, because I said I was going to get up at 5 a.m. and record this video, but I know myself. If I'm talking differently, I just wanted to let y'all know that I'm just trying to reassure myself that everything is okay and my resting schedule is not off, because there are universal things going on right now. My resting schedule patterns is very irregular. I also wanted to let y'all know that this video is featuring my pimple. It's on my forehead, and if you don't give it that much attention, I promise you it will not bother you. Yeah, let's just continue with these mermaid footages and videos and just these story times, because yeah, I'm feeling watery right now. So yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, this is a legit thing. Anyone from the Caribbean or with a Caribbean background, like, you've heard so many stories of mermaids, so many different stories. There was one particular story my aunt told me about how she knew a guy that fell in love with a mermaid. Unfortunately, that guy is not with us today. She personally feels that the mermaids took him to live with, to live amongst them. So, she doesn't think he's dead, but he's definitely alive and well with his mermaid lover. Now, this was back before I was born, so I can't really give you evidence about something I wasn't even born. But she recounts how every single day, at the same time, he would go out to the ocean. He would go to the beach every day at the same time. She never knew what it was. She would ask him, but he would kind of, I'm just trying to clear my head. It's nothing serious. So she took it upon herself one day to follow him. So Auntie Josie followed this man to his destination that he always goes. And she said there was something weird about that particular day, like that approach. She said as she followed him, she stayed behind so that he wouldn't see her. So when he approached the ocean, he kept looking left and right, like making sure there was nobody around. And all of a sudden, he had this little shell that he blew into. And when he blew into that shell, something like the water started bubbling, like ruffling. And this lady appeared out of nowhere. At this point, Auntie Josie was like, yo, I can't be seeing this with my own eyes. So he's walking towards the ocean, towards this lady. And he's speaking to her like he's talking to a regular, individual. Like, hey, how are you? I missed you. Oh, you're so beautiful. I love you. Things like that. And in his hand, he had a gold coin. She said he flicked that gold coin in the ocean, and all she can see were like fins that was like diving down to this particular golden coin. She also believes that they have somehow had a child. Like, she feels that this mermaid got pregnant. So the guy's walking towards the water, and the water is getting deeper, like it's getting higher and higher and higher to the point it was up to his neck. And she said eventually his head was submerged in the water. Like, he didn't come out for hours. So she got impatient and she went back home. Now, she called a few people that she knew, and some people believed her, some people did not. And she said when he was at his home the next day, she asked him about it. Like, hey, what was this? I saw this happen. I saw you do this. She said that man's eyes literally was like big as the moon. And she told me that he grabbed her, like, tell me what you know. Like, what did you see? And she said she was scared. She was like, I didn't see anything. I didn't see a fucking thing. I didn't see nothing. And he told her, do not tell anyone what you saw. He knew that she saw something if she's bringing it up to him. She said she followed him one more time to the ocean. One more time when he least expected it. She followed him one more time. when he was at the ocean, he had a bag with him. And she said it looked like the bag had like clothing, like essential things that you need when you're traveling. She said he walked to the ocean like always, and he never came back. Never came back. She said she went to his house. She asked around, like, have you seen this person? And he did not reappear. He has not appeared to this day. She really believes that, you know, they were at the point of their relationship where he didn't need to come back to land. He didn't need to attend to his land life. So she feels that he has officially became a mermaid with his partner, with his lover, mermaid lover. One thing that really stuck out to me in her story, my aunt's story, is towards the ending. She said when he was walking to the ocean, that one last time she followed him, he kept sobbing, saying, Melanineth, I'm here, Melanineth. I'm with you forever, Melanineth. And she said as he's walking to the water, he kept saying that until his head was completely submerged.
It's the reverse, Ariel. I'm very happy about that. That's a beautiful story. I don't want to hear nobody in the comments, and somebody already in the comments saying everyone is carrying a 4K video recorder, but no one has a clear video of mermaids. Shut up! Shut up! We know they exist because everything comes from something. So anybody who got something to say about them not existing, this ain't the video for you. It's not. It's not. One of the comments say, my husband's uncle had a mermaid lover in Haiti, and he disappeared and appeared back again 30 years later like nothing happened and doesn't talk about it to this day. You know, my dad had an uncle that said the same thing, but it was different. He said he was working on the moon and he would always disappear around December and he'd come back around March. Now, I don't know if he's going to the moon, wherever he went. He was talking about stuff the technology that's happening right now. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm feeling real bougie today. I'm feeling real bougie tonight because I have everything together. My sleep pattern is A1. I can get this rest. I can get this rest and I can get up at 5 a.m. It's 10 p.m. right now. I can get up at 5 a.m. like it's nothing. It's nothing. Yeah.
We're back with more crazy mermaid stories, and this one is wild. So let's talk about it. Mario Moreno, which is known as Cantinflas, was an extremely popular Mexican comedian and actor. But not only was he extremely popular and wealthy and just well known all over Mexico, he had an unusual obsession with mermaids, y'all. Like, obsessed to the point where he wanted a mermaid to be his wife. Yeah. So legend has it, one night he was on a boat or on a ship or something, and he was just out there enjoying his quiet time, and he heard some type of enchanting, soothing song that instantly had him mesmerized. And when he looked out, it was some mermaids, y'all. But it was no coincidence that these mermaids basically came out there where he was. Rumor has it that they basically chose him for a reason, simply because of his influence and his popularity. Like, y'all gotta think, these are ancient creatures. They've been around forever and they know everything. So they basically used him to, you know, be the voice and to put out certain messages. They said he put a bunch of different like hidden little stuff in some of his scripts. So after that, he allegedly reached out to some mysterious man, y'all. He told him about his obsessions and his wish to basically be in cahoots with these mermaids and that he want to be around them and marry them. So I'm assuming he was some kind of witch or some type of man that does magic. So what he did was he told him to get this home on the beach in Acapulco. And he also told him to get this statue of himself and have it facing towards the ocean, y'all. So this is like the real statue that is at his home. And he also had to place different like marine spirits and these mermaid statues all around his home as well. And this is a better look at his home as well. You can see how like he have all these different pools, which are saltwater pools connected to the ocean, so the mermaids can have access to come in. And rumor has it he used to have these elaborate parties and the mermaids would be the guest of honor. They would literally come and visit him basically every night. And now rumor has it that these mermaids come every night around 2 or 3 a.m. and parlay around his statue looking for him because he's passed away. And some say in the middle of the night, you can see his statue take human form and jump into the sea. And there's been lots of videos of people like posting up and camping out to witness, you know, the statue supposedly turn into human form and go into the ocean. There's also rumors that he had a girlfriend that was a mermaid as well. This whole story was absolutely crazy, but it's very true, y'all. This man had a complete obsession with these mermaids and he supposedly made a deal and he was connected with them for life. But let me know what y'all think about this in the comments, or if y'all heard anything about it, because this story is very wild.
I just want to say, making a statue of yourself while you're alive, that has to be some type of ritual. That statue, he probably put some of his essence in that statue. I said it. And we're going to move on.
Tell the people them say mermaid real, you know, because none of them believe from the channel, you know. They're a real thing, but you can't see them, me see them, me talk to them, other people see them talk to them, a real thing. It's a real thing. Sometimes them come and then they all about.
So in this video, the woman proceeds to talk about how a woman came into a bar, and the woman was explaining how a mermaid came and killed her husband. And she proceeds to say how mermaids are real, how they look like you and I, how they look human-like, and how they walk around like you and I. Mermaids, I feel like there's so much evidence that proves that mermaids exist. You know, even when you look in ancient India, you know, they talk about how mermaids existed. I think it's such, you know, it's such an intriguing topic that most people can't quite grasp it. But it goes into...
So this is the first time I've heard, like I've had a theory that they come out of the ocean and sometimes they walk around. In that TV show that they made that's called Siren, I was obsessed with it. I liked it. I watched the full season back to back. The mermaids could come on to land, but the longer that they stayed on land, the more dry their skin got, and it looked like eczema. And the people who had the mermaid genes, who were still humans, they had eczema, and they had like skin that would dry up. It reminds me of this video I had saw. Let me show you.
This lady has been living in a lake for 25 years, earning her the name of the Indian Mermaid. Some people of her village believe she's a supernatural spirit who's living among humans. Her family visits her daily to keep her company and bring her food so she can eat. But why is this 70-year-old woman doing this? Sadly, it's the only relief she can get for her skin disease, which causes her skin to sore, shed, and become unbearably itchy. Rhonda is unable to afford treatment due to her poverty, so every day she wakes up, sits in the lake until the sun sets, and comes back to do it all again once the sun rises.
You see what I mean? Yeah. Okay. And did y'all know that the movie Moana is actually based off of a mermaid? That's why she had that connection with that water. And that's why that water she was able to talk to, and it was interacting with her. Like it was interacting with her grandmama that had the blood, and she turned into a stingray. Yeah. Listen to it.
Let's talk about the Hawaiian mermaid. Her name is Moana Nui Ka Lahua. And that name sounds familiar, right? Now let's talk about it. Moana was the water goddess of the Hawaiian Islands. And the Disney film Moana is based on this Polynesian legend. And Moana guards the waters of the Hawaiian island with the help of these two shark gods. Not like the pig and the rooster on the movie that helped Moana. But according to some legends, Moana appeared as a fish. In other legends, she was half human, half fish hybrid, so in other words, a mermaid. And she had the power to summon storms whenever she wanted. And according to legend, she wasn't always the well-mannered goddess as depicted on the Disney film Moana. Like many other mermaids and goddesses, she could be mischievous and playful. But however, there was one god who could catch Moana, and that was Maui. And in the real legend, Maui is who killed Moana. Maui was a fisherman god, and one day she found him basically fishing in her realm and territory. And when she discovered that, she was basically pissed. So what she did was she took his magical fishing hook and she basically placed it under this big rock, which pissed him off. So as revenge, he caught her and dragged her to shore. That's when she dried out and died, because I mean, she is a big mermaid and she needs to be in the water. But it was said that Maui was a trickster god as well, and he wasn't going to take Moana stealing his fishing rod lightly. However, in the legend, it states that he still respected her, basically buried her body and built a shrine in her honor. And where he buried her, allegedly, this very sacred tree in Hawaii grew in that place. And the actual place Maui in Hawaii is supposed to be named after the god Maui. And that is the true legend of the Hawaiian mermaid goddess Moana. And I also find it crazy how basically Disney took this and made it into a movie based off this beautiful woman that was obsessed with the water. And they basically just did their own twist to it. But yeah, a lot of people didn't know that this Disney movie was based off a real Polynesian and Hawaiian legend. But stay tuned for more of my mermaid stories and tales across the globe. And don't forget to...
They monetize off of the stories, the legends. They monetize off of the stuff that's actually happening, the magical beings that we are. They monetize that and tell us that we're just humans and we're not magical. I'm done. I'm just really trying to have my persona of having everything together, you know. Just bear with me. This is how I keep myself. And I also wanted to say before we move on to the next video, Kennedy Jack, keep doing your big one on these mermaid stories because I'm really loving it. You know, us as, you know what we are. You should be able to find her YouTube channel if you just look it up. I love it. Much success to everything that you create.
Absolutely. This is the long-awaited mermaid encounter. Grab your snacks, grab your popcorn, because this one's a good one. So this story was told to me by my uncle, so that would make him a direct descendant of all of this. Keep in mind that my uncle is my father's half-brother. They share the same dad, but do not have the same mother. So this would have happened to my uncle's great-great-grandmother. We'll call her Mary. So Mary would often go to this body of water to fetch water. And mind you, she would go often and nothing would ever happen up until this one time. So Mary went as regular, put her bucket down and starts filling it up until she starts to hear singing and sirens. But this is broad daylight, so where is this coming from? So Mary starts to look around, just trying to figure out where the singing is coming from. Then the singing just kind of intensifies. So really, now at this point, she kind of like gets this feeling in her body that she has to go towards the singing. So Mary drops the bucket, gets in the water, and just starts swimming away. Just, I guess, trying to get closer and closer to the beautiful melody that she was hearing. So when she finally gets to a point, she stops and she looks back and realizes she is quite literally almost in the middle of this body of water. So as Mary realizes that she is dead in the middle of this body of water, she starts to realize, okay, well, maybe I should make my way back to shore. So as Mary starts swimming and making her way back to where her bucket was, she suddenly feels something grab her feet suddenly and yank her underneath the water. So within everything happening in fast motion, Mary would freak out. Mary would freak out and just starts to fight whatever it was around her. Keep in mind, Mary wasn't fighting one creature off of her. She was actually fighting multiple creatures off of her. And Mary recalls, as she's fighting for her life, it is as though these creatures are communicating with her telepathically, because she can almost hear them tell her, calm down, relax, stop fighting. It's going to be okay. That Mary realizes that within all of this tussle, that somehow she was still able to breathe. So some way, somehow, Mary was able to calm herself down and look around her and seeing that she was actually surrounded by 4 sea creatures. And these sea creatures, when Mary would come back to talk about her experiences, she described them as being half human and half fish. So after Mary calms down, they communicate to her that it is her time. She has a job to do, she has work to complete, so it's time to get started on her training. Mary, being extremely confused, would try to run away because this is wild. To which she would describe them swimming much faster than her because they caught up to her the second she even thought about running away. They would grab her and told her that she can no longer run away from her responsibilities. If she does not come and fulfill her duties, she is going to live a very, very difficult life. To which Mary would allow these creatures to take her. Now, if you guys want the full story about where Mary went, what she saw in that time, and what it was like down under for her, then you guys need to head over to my YouTube channel, because
Say no more, big girl. Sign these papers right here. Say no more. Say no more. Say no more. We going. Let's go, y'all.
To which they would say that you are overdue for your service. We have been looking for you, and we have been wanting you to come to the water to take on your duties. It is time. Mary, being extremely confused, would look around and try to run away, to which they would go, grab Mary and tell her, unfortunately, it is time to do your duty. They would then take Marie, escort her, and swim. And mind you, Marie explained that the swimming was happening extremely fast. So when they grabbed her arm to swim away with her, it was happening extremely fast. So it seemed like they were going 100 miles per hour easy. So they finally reach a place, to which Marie, when she came back and she explained what happened to her to everybody, she explained this place to be extremely beautiful. She said that it seemed like it was like a city underneath the ground. There were certain places where it was clear that it was being used for magic. There were other places where it seemed like, okay, maybe these creatures resided there. It seems like there were palaces. She described it to be literally one of the most beautiful places that she had ever experienced. Not only that, but she also recalled it to be very, very peaceful. So as she is under there, she has no idea her concept of time. All of that is completely gone from her, okay? So she doesn't know how long she's been there. So they get started right away. One of the mermaids approached her and told her, hey, so basically we have an assignment for you. But first you have to learn magic. To which she was then escorted to the next part of the ocean, to which she had to do magic. She had to practice magic. And she would meet those mermaids that would tell her all of these deep and dark secrets about voodoo, magic, and everything, all of the above. Describes seeing different creatures of mermaids underneath the water. She describes some of them to be extremely, extremely ugly. Like they're very hard to look at, like it's a jump scare. And she described some of them to be extremely, extremely alluring and beautiful. So it depends on where you go. So while she was underneath the water, she was forced to go through different parts of the water to, I guess, for her training purposes. And the different places that she would travel underneath the water, she would say, much like humans, the mermaids were also different. So if you go to this specific part of the water, you might encounter more greenish, dark, grayish looking mermaids. As opposed, if you go on this side of the water, you might meet more actual melanated mermaids or even fair-skinned mermaids. So yes, they can have different skin complexions and they can look different types of ways, which is why it's confusing why there's so many different encounters of people calling them very ugly and people calling them beautiful, because much like humans, there are different types of mermaids. So she would proceed on being underwater, and she didn't know exactly how long she was underneath that water for, but she was getting all of the training. She was learning all of these new secrets that she knew she had to go back on Earth eventually and put to practice. So she said on her last day, or I guess one of her last few moments, I guess you can say, down under or in the sea, a mermaid approached her and told her that you have to go meet the queen. The queen would be La Siren, or I guess Mama Wata. So they told her that you have to go meet La Siren, to which they would take her hand and of course swim hundreds of miles per hour so she can meet this queen. So she gets to this palace and she explains it to be extremely beautiful. And this lady welcomed her with the most welcoming hug and said, "Welcome home, daughter. We have been expecting you." So they spoke. And she told her about her duties. She told her that she had a purpose, and she told her that she had stuff to accomplish and that she had to accomplish it in this lifetime as a human. So she was given different tasks, various tasks, and she was sent back to the human world. But get this, you guys. When she came back to that original spot where she was fighting the mermaids, this time she came back with a high chair, with a cane, and with a book of instructions. She would make her way back to shore. But something strange happened, because when she made her way back to shore, she noticed that everything looks very different. So, cool. She tried using muscle memory and still managed to make her way back home. So in Haiti, people don't really move around like that. So it would be pretty normal if somebody just goes missing for like a certain period of time and you come back home and that your home would still exist. Because people in Haiti, once you buy land, that is your land, right? She would return and make her way back home. Except when she made her way back home and knocked on the door, someone opened the door and everybody was shocked because Marie, what the hell are you doing here? Everybody back on Earth, while Marie was down under having no concept of time, back on Earth, people were worried sick, because they were afraid that Mary had gotten kidnapped or something awful and horrible had actually happened to Marie. And it had actually been 7 years since Mary has been gone. So on this random day that Mary comes knocking on the door, and they would open the door. Obviously, this was very, very, very shocking. Mary was back. Mary came back, and she was very different. From there, she kind of became an outcast in her family because, like, you're kind of doing voodoo, like, you're doing a lot of stuff. But from when she was underneath the water, the mermaids would then tell her that after her training and after she goes back to Earth, they would actually never take her again. Anytime they would need to communicate with Mary, they would just come through her dreams. So throughout Mary's life, she would continue having a series of dreams about mermaids, and this is how they would come to her, telling her the different assignments that she had to do. So Mary would go on and live her life as a high priestess, the highest priestess of that family generation of the time. So if you guys enjoyed this story, please let me know. I tried not to make this long. This is my first, YouTube story time, so I'm nervous as fuck. But welcome to my YouTube channel, you guys. Thank you guys so much. Please make sure you are subscribing if you like these spooky stories, because this YouTube page, I'm about to start dropping all the voodoo stories, all the Lugau stories, all the mermaid.
Yeah, shooketh. We get sold mermaid TV shows and movies, and I just wanted to say I'm grateful for her sharing this story, because she didn't have to, and also just showing a part of the magic that is in this world and the different layers of things that's going on right now, and even just that's been going on with the great this is an old story. They sell us this stuff in America and make movies and TV shows out of it, but it's people in another region that's experiencing this as in life, and these are memories, these are stories that are passed down through families. I just love that. Thank you, Rebecca, for sharing that story. And that's gonna be the end of this video. I love y'all. Thank you so much for watching it, and I hope that y'all have a great rest of y'all day. I'm gonna take my butt to bed, and I will get up and edit for y'all and upload as soon as I can. I love y'all.